This week was the first FOMC meeting of 2025, and Jerome Powell came out with some shocking statements about not only Bitcoin, but also the crypto industry. Meanwhile, Europe is giving some mixed signals about the crypto industry and Bitcoin. Some countries are all in for Bitcoin, and some members of the European Union are saying not too fast. This week was also earnings week for some tech companies, and this is right after what occurred last week with DeepSeek. Grayscale also applied for a very awaited ETF, and President Trump came out with a warning for all BRICS countries. All that and more in this week's episode of JD Ramos Show. Welcome to the JD Ramos Show. I'm your host, JD Ramos, and let's start with the news. This week was the first FOMC meeting of 2025, and the Fed decided to pause interest rates and leave it at 4.25 to 4.5%. Also, this is the first FOMC meeting after President Trump took office, and the importance of this is that President Trump has been in favor of cutting rates, even when Jerome Powell have said that there's no need to cut rates in the past. Now he's changing his tune. Take a listen.
You said you want to see further progress on inflation. Given that households appear to be unhappy with the elevated level of prices, do you believe the committee should wait until inflation has fallen back to target to cut rates again?
No, I wouldn't say that. We've never said we need to be all the way at target to reduce rates. At any time, what we're doing is we're looking at the economy and asking whether our policy stance is the right one to achieve maximum employment and price stability. So I think if we would want to see further progress, but we think our as I mentioned, we think that our policy stance is restrictive, meaningfully restrictive, not highly restrictive, but meaningfully restrictive. And so I would think we need to see further progress. I wouldn't say all the way back down to 2% on a sustainable basis, although we'd love to see that, of course, and we will.
And in the crypto sector, the Fed also made a 180-degree positive turn towards Bitcoin and the crypto industry, saying that banks are able to do business with crypto customers and to custody Bitcoin. Take a listen.
Hello, Chairman Powell. Mark Hamrick with Bankrate. As you know, in the annual report from the Financial Stability Oversight Council, among the risks outlined is cryptocurrency. Could you talk about those risks now? And regarding individuals and households, perhaps distinct from the concern about the financial system, do you worry that speculation in this unregulated asset class could hurt their financial well-being, or do you think it has a place in a household's portfolio?
You know, so our role with Bitcoin really is to look at, with crypto, really is to look at the banks, and you know, we think it's, you know, banks are perfectly able to serve crypto customers as long as they understand and can manage the risks, and it's safe and sound. As a good number of our banks that we regulate and supervise do that.
Meanwhile, in Europe, things are getting interesting for the crypto industry because we have bad news and good news from the whole continent. Let's start with the bad news. Christine Lagarde, which is the president of the European Central Bank, made some recent comments saying that Bitcoin will not be part of the European Union bank reserves, saying that she is confident that Bitcoin doesn't belong there.
On this matter that you referred to, and whether reserves of central bank should or could include Bitcoins, I think there is a view around the table of the Governing Council, and most likely the General Council as well, that reserves have to be liquid, that reserves have to be secure, that they have to be safe, that they should not be plagued by the suspicion of money laundering or other criminal activities. And as a result, I'm confident that reserves will not enter that Bitcoins will not enter the reserves of any of the central banks of the General Council.
But here's the twist. The Czech Republic, which is also a part of the European Union, is not only accepting crypto, but they also recently approved the creation of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And in addition to this, if you hold crypto for 3 years in the Czech Republic, you won't have to pay taxes on that crypto. Now going to TradFi, this week marks the first week after the Chinese company DeepSeek came out with their AI model that disrupted the stock market in the United States, because companies like Nvidia, Meta, Apple and Microsoft, which all of them are involved in the AI movement, they saw a sharp decline after this news came out. But this week, 3 of those companies, Meta, Apple, and Microsoft, had positive earnings, and actually very strong earnings, which can open the argument that this sharp decline because of DeepSeek, it's over, and these companies have just learned from what the Chinese company has showed them, that a better, faster, cheaper AI model is possible. Now, great news for all the XRP holders out there. Grayscale has filed for an XRP spot ETF, which means that investors will be able to buy XRP without actually holding the token. This will give XRP a massive exposure, not only to other crypto investors, but also to regular investors or traditional investors that are not risk enough to invest in crypto. President Trump recently came out in a social media post warning all the BRICS countries to not create a BRICS currency or to not start trading in a different currency from the US dollar. He also warned that if this happens, he will impose 100% tariffs to all these countries. This is exactly what he said. We're going to require a commitment from these seemingly hostile countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs. So what's the takeaway from all this? The Fed might have started the second leg of the bull run with all the statements about crypto and just keeping the interest rates at 4.25 to 4.5%, looking ahead to the next meeting and see if Jerome Powell can cut interest rates and listen to President Trump's wishes. Europe's back and forth stance on Bitcoin means that the tables might be turning on the subject. Just like the US used to have a very harmful administration towards the crypto industry, Europe might be heading to be a very friendly environment for crypto and Bitcoin. China probably thought that they harmed the United States and they harmed the American AI companies by releasing DeepSeek, but these companies most likely already learned the lesson, and they learned that you can create a cheaper and faster AI model. Grayscale applied for the XRP spot ETF, and given the circumstances that the SEC is a pro-crypto SEC, jumps the odds of approval very high, which can lead to a lot of new money coming not only into the XRP ETF, but also into the entire altcoin market. And the days of the US dollar being the world reserve currency might have been extended by the President Trump's warning to all the BRICS countries. Hopefully, this new administration, which has shown to be a pro-crypto administration, uses this opportunity to work with the stablecoins issuers and make a deal in order for the stablecoins to be mass adopted. Anyways, this is just the beginning of a very interesting 2025. So what do you have to do? You have to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel so you can join me in the next episode, because I'm gonna give you all the most relevant news that has to do with crypto and finance. This was the JD Ramos Show. I'm JD Ramos, and I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, take care.